Hi there, this is Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with another brew session, I guess. Maybe I should start recording the entire musings of different cards and whatnot, as I've been doing this all day, trying to work around different cards, trying to find like different Storm builds in both Legacy and in Modern. This is the best one I've come up with so far. This is a more budget version of Storm, and it consistently kills on turn 4 the same way that the regular Storm, regular Pyromancer's Ascension. But the good thing about this deck is you don't have to really purchase any insanely expensive cards. I'm thinking that Past in Flames is the most expensive card in the deck, and then it's just all basic mountains. There's no need not to run anything but mountains. I can see the point to maybe going into dual lands just for the case that if you had to cast a blue mana for Gitaxian Probe, you could. But other than that, there's no point to having any other colors of mana in this deck. So it's just 16 basic lands, and this is going to utilize Locket of Yesterdays. I've been having a lot of fun with this, and now that I look at it, this card could go in some other type of strategies of just casting cards. Like I thought about running this in the Shadowborn Apostle. So Shadowborn Apostle and Locket of Yesterday is spells you cast cost 1 less for each card with the same name as that spell in your graveyard. And then, okay, well, actually it won't work because this is colorless mana only. So yeah, you'd have to figure out other ways to abuse that. But it might actually go good with like Relentless Rats at least. But spells that you cast cost 1 less for each card with the same name. But it could go in a Dredge type deck for any like Elvish. The thing that I thought about was like an Immortal Servitude list too, with a bunch of like Elvish Mystics. If there happens to be any of them in the graveyard, they cost 1 less, but it probably wouldn't be that good in those type of decks. But I'm sure there's some other like artifacts that maybe cantrip. So maybe in like a Crack Clan Ironworks deck, Locket of Yesterdays would actually be good in that deck, because it's amazing in this deck. It's so amazing in this deck because I found that Flashback actually reduces its own cost because it's still considered in the graveyard. And so to Flashback the Past in Flames is actually 4 mana, not 5. And as well as like the good old Faithless Looting is 2 mana, not 3. And so you can go through your deck quite quickly. So we'll play a few games here, but the whole thing, this is a Grape Shot deck. I'm sure you could go empty the Warrens instead of Grape Shot, but I think the Grape Shot has the most potential. Another card that I've thought about is Laboratory Maniac, because Laboratory Maniac, you can easily draw through your entire deck. So I'm going to throw one of these in the sideboard. I have Gutter Snipes in the sideboard just because it's, I just thought that they might actually work. You probably still wouldn't even need to go Islands if Laboratory Maniac is in here, as you can actually, the only problem is you're going to be looting yourself pretty badly with this deck, so I don't know if Laboratory Maniac would actually be useful or not in this deck. What you'd need some sort of Flashback card that puts a token of it into play. I can think of one from Innistrad block that does that, but then again, that's heavy into the blue. But with the Manamorphose, you could actually, it would be possible. So I don't know if Laboratory Maniac is good or not in here, but you do draw through your entire deck quite quickly. So again, Grape Shot. Again, I've been working on so many different builds, like some Burst of Speed type builds to give all your guys haste. That didn't work out as good as I wanted it to work out with the Battle Hymn and whatnot. Again, maybe I need to go in that list. I think I'll post that list if I haven't already posted it. But so far, this has been my favorite deck that I've made so far today. So I'm going to go ahead and just play a... Anyway, let's get back to the whole theme. It's just Storm. So Seeming Spirit Guide's in here to ramp. It's Pyromancer's Ascension as well, because this gives you actually the card draw you need. Because hooking this up with Gitaxian Probe and Manamorphose is what's going to let you go through your entire deck. And Reforge the Soul is huge with this deck as well. Goblin Lore is the best card that I can think of to actually draw cards. It does replace itself. So you draw 4 cards and discard 3 cards at random. You're not going to really care what's going to go in the graveyard because you're going to be able to get it back. Plus you want tons of stuff in your graveyard for Locket of Yesterdays and whatnot. So anyway, I'll just play a few games here with this deck, and yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Again, I've brewed so many decks today with like Glimpse card that draws a card each time you cast a creature spell. just a bunch of different storm cards, and they've all. I have a deck that consistently goes off on turn 1 and turn 2, but it misses pretty badly for Legacy. It can just flat out miss, so that's the reason I kind of don't like it. This is my, again, as far as power level, I think this one is the best I've done so far, because the other deck that I made in Legacy is a lot like Charbelcher, and the reason I do like it, I'll show that deck. I'll do a video tech of it and whatnot. But yeah, so Reforge the Soul, Pass in Flames, Shells, kind of Storm Shells been brewing a lot with. I think there's more potential. I think people need to look at these other cards like Locket of Yesterday's. I like it better than Goblin Electromancer for sure, even though Goblin Electromancer affects both cards that aren't in the graveyard yet. But it comes out a turn earlier. It's a lot easier to cast. It doesn't die to Abrupt Decay, and it's just a much more stable card in my opinion. Anyway, this has been Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.